1. Alrighty, so we should be live. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to give it a couple minutes just so I can kind of check the group, make sure it's up and live, and it looks like it is. So exciting. So I'm excited to be here this morning. It's a little bit earlier than we normally do, so that's part of the reason why my hair is not done today. But I'm excited to get on here and talk with Kristen from the Mermaid Movement. We're going to have a really great talk about just some sisterhood stuff, about some yoga stuff, really finding your tribe and how that journey looks for everybody. So let's go ahead, Kristen, before we jump into Mermaid Movement and all that jazz, I want you to share with me a little bit about yourself and your journey and how you came to where you are now.
Yeah, great. So, hey everyone, I'm Kristen and I am 24 years old. I'm in Southern California, and really my journey started, I wasn't aware it was starting. I joined a network marketing company, and that's where all the personal development started to kind of make its way into my life. And I did well there. I liked it, but I knew that there was something else out there for me that I was just kind of waiting to kind of come upon. And through the personal development and all the amazing people that I met there, things just started evolving. And then I ended up taking, tons of courses in self-love development, and just kind of ended up throwing together this group. I literally posted on Facebook, if I created a group to support women, would you guys join? That was how the Mermaid Movement started. And then a bunch of girls were like, yes, yes. And so it started with just probably 50 girls that were from my Facebook. And we just started collaborating, and things just started coming together. And then the Mermaid Movement birthed, honestly, kind of on its own. I feel like it's my baby and I love it, but I didn't have to do much to make it happen. It just kind of fell together in its own time,
That's how you know you're on the right path. It's
totally.
It comes together bigger than you would ever thought. Things just kind of seamlessly come together, and you're like, okay, universe, I guess I guess you wanted to bring this thing forth.
Exactly.
That's really cool. So I love the name, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm a bit mermaids, unicorns, rainbows, glitter,
right. All things fairy tale, please.
Yay, I love it. I love being in that space. For me, it's just super magical, and it's awesome. Hey, Melissa, nice to see you. So I love the name. So where'd the name come from?
Funny story again, actually. So I was trying to come up with what I was going to do, and it started out, well, everybody calls me Mermaid because of the hair. It just kind of happens. And then I was trying to come up with something, and I was going with mermaid vibes, and then it was called Mermaid Vibrations for a while.
Uh-huh.
And then movement just kind of, when the group birthed, the Facebook group, I didn't want to call it Mermaid Vibrations. I don't know. It just wasn't sitting. And so I was I think I just Googled names that started with M, and I was coming up with all these things, and I was Mermaid Movement. That's it. It was just done.
No, I love it.
It just kind of, again, just birthed.
That's cool. So tell me a little bit about it. Tell me, the group of women you guys surround yourself with, what's your message, how that whole thing works.
So my whole goal was to just create a group where women could come together and feel supported. I feel especially, I don't know, I can't speak for much outside of Southern California because that's where I've been born and raised, but especially here, it's so hard to find a tribe of girls that are nice and supportive and
they get you.
Lack of judgment, type of thing. Yeah, and I get you. So that was my whole goal. And then it just yeah, totally. And then it just kind of started to grow into supporting each other in our everyday endeavors and supporting each other in our manifestations. And there's girls in there all the time that are just hey, I've got something rough to do today. Help me out. And I love it how there will just be 30, 40, 50 comments on how she could handle this situation or how these women are supporting her. And there are people from all over that just
Oh no, I think we're getting a little
really what the And then in person,
Hold on. Let's give it just a minute to catch up with you. You're getting a little glitchy. But we'll just give it a minute. Sometimes it just needs to click in. But Andrea says the Mermaid Movement is amazing. And I can totally feel you how sometimes we lack that. It is definitely hard to, I don't know. Sometimes I think, is it because I have kids, or is it living in Southern California, or what is that? Or is it just the older you get, the life gets busy, and it can be challenging to find people that you just vibe with, that you can just sit in a room and not feel judged, not judge anybody else, and just there is a very specialness to that. I don't know if you saw my comment the other day I think you did in Love Warrior. I put it in our group too, that it doesn't matter how much spiritual development you do, or how advanced you might think you are with this stuff, and then you go try on swimsuits. Men don't get this issue, but women get this issue. It's like, I'm very self-accepting.
Oh my gosh,
I'm like, all this, and then you go and you're like, there's more work to be done. Right? Finding those women that go, I get you. I challenge with that too.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Am I back? Am I glitchy still?
Am
I back?
You're good. You're good. We can keep going. Can you hear me? I think so. Oh, I think we're back into the glitch, maybe.
Okay.
Come on, technology. We'll say a little prayer to the technology gods that you please come in. Please, please, please give us some love. I pray to a lot of gods. I pray to the parking god too a lot. Parking god and the technology god. All right, cool. So tell me, I know you were sharing that you guys do, it's not just an online group. Like, you guys get together.
We do. So most of our stuff has been local in Temecula and San Diego right now. But we do a lot of new moon circles and just women's events where we love to just kind of come together and like get all of our energies in one room. And we do all kinds of fun stuff. We have the yoga. But I really think it's mostly about just creating those one-on-one relationships.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, electron.
Between the mermaids. And that's where oh, man.
I know, we're getting glitchy. It's okay. We're going to power through this. Hopefully it's going to come our way. Share with me about mermaid yoga.
Yes. So Mermaid Movement Yoga is a more self-expression yoga meets dance movement. So it's a super sensual expression of self. So we don't actually do a ton of yoga. It's actually more dance based. So we do some, we add like sun salutations in, and we get into poses through the movement.
Okay.
But it's like you're jamming, the music is loud. The girls love to call it the club without the creepers.
Okay. You get down with that.
It's so much fun. And I think a lot of that is where the mermaid movement really shows itself and shows its true colors. Like, these girls will come into this class and they're like, all nervous and they're not really into it. And then by an hour in, once it's like almost over, they're like free and moving and just totally vibing. And then afterwards they'll be like, I haven't felt this free in forever. And it's just like that. I feel like the most free after a class like that. And I feel like so many girls need more of that. So that's my favorite part of what I do, for sure.
Right. No, there's a power. I know for myself, I'm not a person that likes to, I'm not like the goofy one that is cool with doing goofy stuff. That makes me very insecure and very vulnerable. So there is something to be said about coming into a room and it not knowing what you're coming to and not wanting to look stupid, and then being able to drop that and then just be in that space with other people that, are open to that and willing to support you in that, aren't judging you, and like you lose your judgment too. That's,
totally
good stuff there. We got some people saying hi. Hey, Carol. Hey, Carol. Hey, hey, hey. And then Andrea. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Good morning, Diane. It's great to see you. Great to see you. Ah, see, we got some glitches because we got too much energy. I like that one. I like that one. But it's okay. I'm glad you guys think it's okay. What was I going to ask? So what is a new moon circle?
New moon
Because
circle.
this kind of stuff, like when you get into like this metaphysical stuff and all, I'm like super interested in it. So tell me how it works.
So the new moon circles we usually use to bring in new intentions and set new goals because, you know, the moon, we work on the cycle of the moon. So a lot of the times during the new moon, we're setting new goals and intentions. And then the full moon is when we're bringing these things into full, you know, action. So our new moon, we do something different every time, but we spend a lot of time actually connecting. So, you know, we'll talk a lot about what your intentions are, where you're trying to get at it, where you need support. And we do a lot of like calling that stuff in. So sometimes that will look like chanting and getting really tribal with it. Sometimes it's more like we do a ritual sometimes where we write down and we journal about our intentions. And then we'll actually put that into a cup of water and drink it in. Okay. So we do that one sometimes, which is like, you know, we're just fully embodying what we're trying to put out there into the universe. And then we do a lot of like meditations. And like last time we did a dance meditation. So we let the music guide us. So I told everybody I turned off all the lights. We got quiet. We turned on the music and everybody was just supposed to stand still and not start moving until like your body was like physically, totally.
I could get down with that.
It's so fun.
So also tell me, I know just recently you guys do a book club and you guys read Mel Wells' book. What's it called?
Yes. The Goddess Revolution.
Goddess Revolution. Love the name too. So tell me about that. And then you guys got together and she came out.
She did. She did.
And she's like not from here. Isn't she from like the UK?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was so rad. So Mel Wells is kind of like my spiritual guru guide teacher. She's just a huge influence in my life. Her whole book is about self-love and body image and having a healthy relationship with food. And she, the whole book is just amazing. Everybody should read it. But she basically is just all about you know, coming into your body and loving it and owning what your body looks and feels like and letting the way your body feels be your guide, not the way it looks. So she came out and we did a self-love event. So she was all the way out here from the UK. She actually just moved to Bali yesterday. So nice. Yeah, crazy. Must be nice. Super happy for her. But she came out and met with up with the mermaids and just did a self-love event. And it was a beautiful event where we just kind of all came together and talked about like what it is that holds us back from loving our body and how we can overcome those things and really just fall in love. And how I love how she talks about it's okay to want to improve the body temple. Mm-hmm. But you have to love on it in the process. And I really love that message because, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, well, if you love yourself, then why are you working out or why are you eating healthy? And it's like, because the body craves it. The body wants it. The body feels better, but not because I care about my jean size going down.
Right. Ah, there's a really good quote on that. It says something like, I don't work out. This is from a person that doesn't work out. So I'm like the wrong person to quote.
I don't really work out either. So.
But it says something like, I don't work out. It's like along those, I don't work out to look good, but I work out because I love my body type of deal. Like not
totally.
But yeah, I know exactly. If I could figure out what the stupid saying is, it would make a lot.
For me, it's all about like nourishing the body temple. So at the end of all of my classes, I always take a moment to have the girls give gratitude for their body temple. Mm-hmm. And I think when you really look at it that way, it's like, this is the place that your soul gets to hang out. Like, do you want to hang out in the ghetto or do you want to hang out in a goddess temple? Like, I want to hang out in a goddess temple.
There's so, oh my gosh, we could talk about that kind of stuff for like a bazillion days because there's so much pressure in today's world to look a certain, like you almost have, it doesn't matter how great shape you are in or whatever, you almost have to like work very hard mentally to counteract the messages that we get. So, cause you know, even like I think of myself, and I'm a very small girl, always been very small. I like my standing weight is like $105. Like that's my standing weight, right? But I have more tone. But even still, like I told you, I tried on swimsuits the other day, and I don't think I have like a body image. And but still trying on swimsuits and just that vulnerability of like,
and that ego voice that starts to talk to you.
And try on one pieces, because one pieces are supposed to be in fashion right now.
They totally are.
Right? I've come to the conclusion, it doesn't matter if it's a one piece or a two piece, like whatever's happening underneath, like it still is the same. I thought it was going to be my saving grace, but it was not. But yeah.
I'm sure you looked amazing.
Right? But, right? I'm outside. My husband's like, why does this bother you?
He's like, why?
Great. Right? But we see something totally different a lot of times in the mirror. It's crazy. So we talked about New Moon. We talked about Mermaid Yoga. We talked about Mel Wells. Now you and Andrea are doing a teen workshop coming up.
We are. The teen workshop, that's August 5th, and it's kind of location undecided right now, but somewhere in SoCal, either Temecula or San Diego. And that came up because of a few different reasons, but the Netflix series 13 Reasons Why hit me really hard.
Did you watch it and you're like, oh, I remember these feelings?
Yeah. I mean, I binged it. I watched the whole thing in one day. So I spent 13 hours just binge watching this. And then it hit me really hard. And I feel like teen workshop. Sorry, somebody just asked if it was team or teen. So teen workshop for teenagers. So a lot of parents, I feel like, started to come to me and ask me, you know, how do we implement this for our girls? So I just did a retreat, and a lot of the women had teenagers or young girls, and they were like, you know, my daughter needs this. My daughter needs this. And I'm like, we have to do something for this, because it's, you know, let's start them young, so we don't have all of this reverse work to do when we're 20, 30, 40, 50, you know?
I was going to say, so that when you're like 35, I just planned my high school reunion. It was our 20th high school reunion, and it was pretty interesting experience to see the most beautiful girl that you would never think has any negative feelings towards high school, because you looked at her and you were like, gosh, everybody loves you. You got a ton of friends. You're so pretty. I would still get calls from those girls. I don't know if I want to go.
You're like,
because and knowing that we all kind of have those experiences, it very much is just being a teenager, and like lots of love and lots of grace for yourself. But gosh, if you can instill those kind of messages when you're a teenager, like give yourself lots of love, lots of grace, and the people around you, lots of love and lots of grace, because nobody knows how to manage all these emotions that come up, you know, nobody knows how to manage it. So if you can give them those tools now, I don't think there's so much work to be done as we're older.
Exactly. So the Mermaid Movement slogan is empowering women of all ages. And I actually, like, on my Instagram, I have the emoji of like a little girl, an older girl, and a grandma. And like, because I want this to be something that is open to all ages. I want to help girls that are 6 and 16 and 56 and everywhere in between, because that's our generation coming up. And I also was hitting on I think I was talking to Andrea about it, but I've talked to a few people about it, how these girls, especially my age, so I'm 24, and we are the first generation to grow up with social media completely wrapped around our brain. And even for me, like, I didn't have it on a phone in high school. I had to like go on the computer. But these girls, they have these phones that have Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And that bullying that's happening at school doesn't turn off at 3 o'clock when they go home.
Right.
It keeps going. There's no turning it off ever for a second. Like, it just doesn't go away. And even if they get off social media, it's still being, bullying is still being passed around. You know, it's still happening. So I don't think at this point it's something that's avoidable. Like, social media is just where the world is at. It's 2017. This is what's happening. But we have to teach these girls how to deal with it. And I think a lot of parents don't know how, because they didn't have this. So they
Right.
were like, oh yeah, like we got put in a trash can, or like, like whatever happened. But that's not what happens anymore. Now,
Right.
like your face gets pasted on a different body and it gets passed around, and like stuff like this is happening. And these girls have no support team because there's just not one yet, because it's so new.
Yeah, it's like probably even more than 100 times more inflamed than it was when we were growing up. So my friend Vanessa said, she said, so true. I have a 14-year-old and it's been hell.
Yeah, it's
a hard time.
These girls need support.
My friend Diane says it happens before teens, which this is, this is very interesting because my oldest she'll be 6 tomorrow, but it was picture day and they typically wear a uniform and it was spring pictures. I was like, you're not taking spring pictures because we already took fall pictures.
We have enough.
I'm good with the spring pictures.
Yeah.
So she was like, no, everybody's taking pictures. I have to take pictures. I'm like, okay. And so she wanted to dress herself and we were trying to get her something to wear. And I couldn't believe these words came out of her mouth. It's almost like this is an issue that came from, if there's previous life, this is an issue that came from a previous life because she's 5 and she said, I want to wear a dress because I want to feel pretty. And I looked at it, I was like, how at 5 do you even have that concept of feeling pretty and what it's like to not feel pretty?
Right. When did you ever not feel pretty, honey?
And she's a beautiful, beautiful girl, right? Yes. And then I hear my mom growing up, me having these feelings. I was a lot older though. I think I was in probably junior high when this started to come up. But I remember hearing my mom say things like that. You're a very beautiful girl, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm looking at my 5-year-old going, gosh, where does this even come from at 5?
Totally. I know.
So
it's happening really early.
Well, yeah, so that's some good stuff that we can definitely support, people that are our age or with kids or
totally
vice versa.
Yeah, so that event, we planned it strategically for August 5th because school goes back around here second week of August. So I want the girls to go in. First of all, I want them to be ambassadors for the rest of the school. I want them to be able to come in and be like, we're here to support one another, not tear each other down. Like my real vision for this would be to have like high school, like clubs, like Mermaid Movement Club, where it's like, we love on each other and like all the girls can come, the popular girl and the band girl and like, all these girls that have all these different labels on them. And I want this to be a place where you come in and those labels are stripped. There's no label anymore. You're just who you are and you're here. And that's like my real vision for this. So this is kind of my first teen Mermaid Movement workshop, and I want it to expand into something that can be taken to school.
Yeah, I like it. There's a school in South Orange County that when you walk into the bathrooms, it's covered in Post-it notes of positive messages. I don't even think there's a mirror. I think they covered all the mirrors.
Wow.
You don't see yourself, but it's just positive messages. And like,
I love that.
For South Orange County, oh my gosh.
Right, of all places. Those girls are freaking out without that mirror.
Pretty progressive. Yes, everybody's loving this. They're saying that would be amazing. It would be amazing. It would, definitely would. Yeah. Melissa, I totally have the vision that, as you were saying it. That's cool. Cool. So we got that. What else can we talk about? I know you and Andrea have an awesome retreat coming up.
We do.
It's pretty dang impressive.
Thank you.
First read, I was like, holy moly, how did this come to fruition? It's pretty incredible. Why don't you share it with us?
Yeah, so I'll share kind of my retreat vision with you guys. So I have a vision of kind of a 4 retreat series. And so the one that we just did, the Mermaid Awakening, that was just a weekend retreat, and that one was local. And that's kind of my vision of like step 1. So Mermaid Awakening is like, I have no idea about any of this like yaya sisterhood stuff, and I don't know what you're talking about, but I want more in life, so I'm going to come here. So that's like step 1. It's a smaller one. It's just one weekend. We did a lot of amazing work. The feedback that the girls, there's some serious life changes happening. So that's kind of step 1.
It's amazing when you have a group, like a tribe of, women, men, whatever, that come behind and support you. Yeah. You could almost do anything.
We have girls that have that was Mother's Day weekend, so it was mid-May, and I have girls that have already made, like, they've flipped their whole life around, and because they were just like, I didn't know this kind of support existed.
Right.
So that's kind of what the Mermaid Awakening, that was my goal. And it was totally happened. And then step 2 is the Goddess Rising, and that's the one that we're doing in December in Tahiti. And my goal for that, which doesn't mean you have to go to step 1 to come to step 2, but this is kind of like my level of intensity type of thing. So step 2 at the Goddess Rising, this is going to be like, okay, I've found myself. I have my power, and now, like, let's share.
I'm ready to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is going to be more intense. It's going to be a week in Tahiti. So it's actually going to be a pretty relaxing week, though. We are going to do a lot of self-love and self-care because that's my jam. And Andrea's got some awesome workshops planned. And we're just going to really dive in. Like, okay, this is how I can be a boss and still totally love and respect the goddess within. Because I think a lot of times, especially in our industry, which, you know, of coaching or transformations or yoga, there's this big, like, it's cool to be busy, I guess.
Oh, girlfriend, we could talk about this all day long.
Right? So, like, it's this, like, oh, I'm so busy.
It's
or
a badge of honor. And, like,
and I'm like, can we Netflix and chill for a second? Like, hold on. So I want to really instill this in these boss babe goddesses, that you can be a boss babe and still take days off and spend time with yourself. And this is something I've had to learn, because throughout network marketing and through my beauty business, like, I've always been like, gotta text people back. Like, I mean, my phone's blowing up as we speak, just like people that want to make appointments, and it's like, hey, I have hours. And I had to, like, set those boundaries of, you know,
time will expand when you let it.
Exactly.
There's always enough time. Oh my gosh, we could talk about this forever, because that is, like, one thing that I look around, and I think too, because I perpetuated that message for a period of my life where
Me too.
Your value and your worth was how busy you were. And that it was like a badge of honor. And now my belief is that when you are in your vibration, when you are fully aligned, the universe comes and helps you out. So you don't have to do all of the heavy, you still have to put the work in, but you don't have to do all the heavy lifting. And so, like, this glorification of, like, I always think glorification of the grind, like, like, that's not your worth. Your worth is not that.
No.
Your worth is you being aligned, bringing your message to the world. And when you do that.
Totally. And I think a lot of us that grind that hard, we're so attached to the outcome that we're creating a block.
Oh my gosh. You are speaking my words, right? Because you want something so bad. You perpetuate this myth that it's not already there. I'm telling you, this was my biggest experience this year that was me. Oh my God, I got to achieve this, because when I achieve this, all this stuff. And then I let it all go. And then life came and showed me everything you were wanting to achieve, you already had.
Totally.
It was already in your life. And almost by me wanting to achieve something so bad, it was like you were chasing. Anytime you chase things, it runs.
It's so true.
It will run from you. It's like with that, and you know what, I had this thought the other day, one of the big driving forces in why I would do that would be to prove people wrong. And Oprah said this thing, she said, whatever your intention is, it will show up in your life. And so if your intention is to prove people wrong, you will have people show up in your life that you need to prove wrong.
No, it's so true.
You're creating all of this. And so
you're creating all these people that don't believe in you, that you just have to keep fighting.
Right? Yeah, it's so crazy. No, but I'm totally with you on all of that.
Yeah.
Total tangent. Go back.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Totally.
So we're going to do some self-love in Tahiti.
Yes, we're going to do some self-love and care, and really just kind of step into our power with less expectations of just never having time for ourselves. I want to, like, get rid of that.
Right.
So that's kind of what's happening at the Goddess Rising. That's in December. It's going to be incredible. The pricing is unbeatable. We went through an amazing travel agency that got us like the best deal. So
Awesome.
I'm really excited about that. And you guys can read about that on mine and Andrea's websites if you want more info on that. And then step 3, I haven't planned yet, but I want that to be I want it to be a childhood timeline type of therapy for my third one, which I haven't even gotten to yet. And then step 4, I want to do a couples retreat.
Ooh,
and I
fun.
want to teach husbands or supporters or whoever it may be in your life that's like your partner. I want to teach those people how to support you in this journey. Because I think a lot of times, especially for husbands, I think when you watch your wife create such a powerful movement or step into such a powerful role, it kind of changes the dynamic of a household. And I want my husband to help incorporate that into other husbands' lives to where like it's not a scary thing to watch your wife step into her power. It's a blessing, and it's like you can support her or tear her down. And there's 2 ways this is going to go, and I have so many people that come to me and say like, I really want to do this, but my husband doesn't want me to, or my husband's afraid of this, and that's natural, right? Like, because it's natural to want to stay in our comfort zones. And it's really scary when your partner starts to like, ah. So it could go either way. It could be the husband growing or the wife growing. And I want to just teach couples to be able to support ourselves in our growth so that we're growing together and not growing apart.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my step 4 that I want to do step 3 and 4 in 2018. And then I want to start over.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, couples one that would be pretty powerful.
I think so. I get a lot of people that ask me and Aaron, my husband, or, and Andrea and RJ too. I think a lot of people are like, you guys fully support each other in everything you do. And of course we have struggles and stuff, but and I'm newly married, and I feel like a lot of people are like, how are you balancing all of this? And it's like, because he's the best supporter ever. And I want him to teach other people how to be that way because he's so supportive. So, I'm excited about that one too. A lot of the women that came on Mermaid Awakening were like, that's what we need next. So I'm excited about that one.
Great. I'm trying to get better lighting in here. My lighting sucks today. Sorry, my life kind of sucks today. Just kidding. We have, not sucks, but it's craziness. We have a new closet being built, so it's being stained outside. My kid's home today. She's on my iPhone playing on YouTube Kids for now, so she's quiet. And we have landscaping happening in the front yard, a whole new front yard going in, so it's a little crazy. And so I'm in a different place today, and the lighting's kind of sucky.
Story of my life with craziness. I have a neighbor dog that she literally comes over every time my husband leaves. And so it was 9:50. We're 10 minutes away from this. My dog starts freaking out. I look outside, and the dog's name is Susan, which cracks me up. And I'm like, Susan, what are you doing here?
It almost sounds like you're yelling at your neighbor, Susan.
No, totally. I'm like, Susan, go home.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we talked about a bunch of stuff. What else can we talk about? What else is going on in the Mermaid Movement? What has been your biggest lesson that you learned for yourself in building this?
For me, I think my mantra has always been, through my healing, others are healed. And vice versa. Through others' healing, I am healed. So I feel like, what oil are you?
So it's cedarwood.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Right. Andrea has this course. It's a chakra course going on right now. And the other day we were working on the root chakra and the sacral chakra.
Cedarwood's got you, girl.
I can't even say this stuff. Hey, Andrea said this. She's like, some people really like this because it's rainbows. And I'm like, dude, that's me.
You're like, that's why I'm doing it.
That's why I'm doing it. Because there was a rainbow on it. And I was like, this seems really cool.
Oh my gosh. Chakra work is so incredible though. Mermaid Movement Yoga. We're working on the 3 lower chakras, which in women, we can go off on this a little bit because I know a lot about chakras and love. I love Andrea's work. I'm actually going to be helping share that today. But so in Mermaid Movement Yoga, we focus a lot on the 3 lower chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. And in women, it's very common for those 3 to be blocked or not filtering properly. Because that's where we hold all the womanly problems, that's where we hold that stuff. So your sacral, where it's like your power, or your solar plexus, which is like your power and stepping into your belief and your strength and your money problems, that's where you hold all that, right? And then your sacral, where you're holding your sensuality, that's where we really hit it in the Mermaid Movement yoga. And I'll even have girls tell me afterwards, like, my stomach feels like it's like swirling, and I'm like, you got energy moving, girl, you need to go drink some water. Like, because it's totally like we're moving all that energy, and we hold a lot of those body image issues and drama that we have in our head, we hold it in our sacral. And then it starts affecting that sensuality piece, and then the root chakra, which is like your sense of belonging and your stability. I mean, how often does that get rocked as a girl, So
constantly.
So we're constantly trying to put that back. And like, I can even feel it after, if I've missed a week, if we have a Friday night cancellation of our Mermaid Movement class, like I feel stuck energy in my belly. It's crazy. So, and cedarwood is like my favorite oil on the planet. So it's really funny actually that you're smelling that, because I always get told that, like, I have a Reiki practitioner, and I walked into her room and she was like, I don't know why I never use this oil, but I put cedarwood on, and like, it just like seems to like follow me. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
That's your oil. That's your oil. I don't know much about oils. They say, I'm like this, they say they work, so I smell them.
Oh my gosh, I totally was the same way until I got stung by a bee. My bee sting experience has made me an oil believer for life, because I think it's a Young Living purification, or doTERRA, it's called Purify. I think it's the same thing.
Right.
And it totally took the sting out of my bee sting.
Really?
And ever since that happened like a year ago, I'm like, there's an oil for this. Look it up. Google it. It all works.
Yeah, they work. Yeah, maybe we'll have an oil person come on a week and run us through.
Oh my gosh, you should.
Yeah, because I don't know, people say it works. I'm like, all right, just put an oil on that, smell it for a while, and it's supposed to work, and you just go with it. But that's kind of how I treat my life.
Oh yeah, Nicole James, she's my oil girl.
Oh, hey Nicole.
She is.
Yeah, that's totally my life. Just try it. People say it works, so just go with it.
Totally. Just do it. It'll work.
See if it works for you.
That's what Andrea and I say to each other. Like, if we call each other, like, and she's like, just take a bath. It'll work. I promise. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Take a bath.
There you go. Oils, ladies. They work. That's funny. Okay. Maybe we'll do a week on oils and talk about all that kind of stuff. Cool. So we talked about chakras. I totally say it wrong too. Chakras.
Yeah, they said, I don't know. Chakra. I think it's chakra, but I don't know.
I'm going to keep talking about chakras and the rainbowness. So cool. Anything else we can chat about today? Let's see, got any questions?
Yeah, let's open it up for questions. And then I know a couple people had wanted to know more about meditation. So
yeah, because you know what, we are giving away. I have a. Can you talk? I have a mini.
You got your mini
Oh man, this is like if you open my purse, it's like toys. But we're giving away a 6-week. You did a 6-week course. Meditate your way to self-love.
Self-love, yes.
Okay. Tell me about it.
Yes. So meditate your way to self-love was kind of my baby. And after I took my 200-hour yoga, we spent a whole day talking. I mean, we talked a lot about meditation, but we spent one whole day specifically talking about different types of meditation. And I really started to dig the idea of meditating in like all the time, everywhere. So the 6-week course goes through basically how to meditate and when you can and how you can connect with meditation. Because I know a lot of people are like, the whole like sit back and like, oh, like they're like, I don't get it, right?
I can't do that. That's not working for me.
So I love to meditate that way, but there's a lot of other ways I love to meditate. And I think opening it up that way makes it less scary for people, right? Like, especially if you're coming into this, like, just like those girls that were coming into the Mermaid Awakening, they're like, I don't know about your woo-woo stuff, but like, I'll try it out. So it's like, okay, well, starting to connect with meditation through mindful eating or connecting with meditation through movement, which is what the Mermaid Movement is. It's basically a big yoga meditation. And so the course just kind of takes you through all these different activities and how to find like your type of meditation. Because I have a lot of girls that are like, the only time I have to meditate is when I'm driving and I can't necessarily close my eyes and start oming in the car. And I'm like, no, but you can turn on a vibrational healing, Spotify track and totally just like vibe and, cleanse the chakras while you're driving and still be focusing on driving. So the whole course is just kind of about how you can connect with your vibe of meditation. So I think we're doing one for everybody that commented, right? That's like one's going to go out.
Yeah, I was going to do anybody that comments or like interacts with us on our live or the replay, we're going to put them in for a drawing and one person's going to win one. And
then I'm also going to offer the course for 50% off to the hippie tribe for this week.
Great. That's awesome.
So anybody wants to get in on that and they don't happen to be the lucky winner, you can get in on it for like $55 or something like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, meditation's been a big shift in my life, especially recently. I've been more concentrated on making it kind of a staple in my day. And it's great. I always say, I yell at my kids less when I meditate.
Totally.
That is changing.
And that's actually another place oils can come in, which I didn't talk too much about in my course, but aromatherapy is a huge meditation tool. So like you're just kind of sniffing on that cedarwood. That is so grounding for you and so fabulous. That's great.
Friend Diane says, an aromatherapist told me cedarwood is like the grandfather, comforting and grounding.
There it is.
Very true. Very true.
I do a drop of cedarwood and a drop of lavender on my feet for bed. Okay. And I'm like out.
So why the feet? I always wonder why the feet.
They say I think you're supposed to put it on your feet because it's just like the quickest way to get into, like there's a lot of nerves there, I think. Sure. I don't know.
This is why we need an oil person.
We need an oil girl.
All right. What is how does it work? Because I just go off.
Yeah, we need an oil girl because that's another one of those things I'm like, they just tell me to. So I do it.
Do it. Cool. So if people want to go join the movement, I'm going to post the links. You'll be able to find them that you guys can. I probably type in the Mermaid Movement on Facebook.
You did, yeah.
There's a group and there's a Facebook page, and then they can also go to the mermaidmovement.online and check it out there. And if they join the mailing list, you get a 7 tips for self-love. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So let's do that. Anybody else got any questions? Yes. Everybody's loving cedarwood.
Right? We could have just spent an hour talking about cedarwood.
There you go. Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see how this trip to Tahiti happens for you guys. That's pretty dang impressive. It looks awesome. Okay. Everybody's like, more oils. Great.
More oils. Let's get an oil girl up in here.
I hear you. Okay. So I'm excited to find out let's see how Tahiti goes. It looks amazing. There was something I was going to tell you. I forget.
Oh, I think a couple people wanted me to touch on facing fears.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do that really quick. So that's kind of something I focus on in my one-on-one package. I'm glad I just remembered that because like a bunch of people said that on the.
It was like one of the top ones.
Yeah, I'm glad I remembered that. They're like, hello. Why'd you ask me what I wanted to talk about? So I do a lot of work on facing fears in my 30-day one-on-one. And I feel like it's kind of the first step of kind of coming into whatever your goal or your intentions are, right? It's kind of facing a fear. You have to step out of the comfort zone. So I do a lot of work on stepping in through meditation and like feeling through the fears and then releasing them. So if people are interested in that too, I would love to talk more about just kind of diving into some fears. And we talk a lot about it. It's like I spend a lot of time on it in my one-on-one package because I think allowing yourself to feel the fears instead of repressing them is where a lot of people miss that step.
Right.
We start to repress them, and then the things we repress just keep coming back up stronger and stronger. So I like to invite my clients to be like, all right, this is how I feel, and I'm scared as heck. And the more you allow that to just sit there.
When you can just identify it and like kind of, I guess, feel your way through it, it starts to dissipate, and it takes a lot of the power away from it.
Yeah, and just allowing this to like, okay, this is how I feel. This is why I feel this way, and this is how I can overcome that fear. And I think a lot of, you know, women that feel stuck in wherever they are in their life, it's because they're sitting in their comfort zone because it's too scary to face some fears. So I work a lot on, you know, I think there's like this internet picture, and it's like a circle, and it was like your comfort zone, and then it was like where the magic happens, and it's like up here in the corner. And I'm like I'm taking you way up there in that little corner. And it's scary, but it's like, I always tell people, it's like the island. Once you get there, you're safe again. Like, and then we'll take you out of it again.
Right. The more you keep pushing those boundaries, you kind of get in a space where you get a little bit more comfortable.
Totally.
With those feelings coming up. I mean, things are still scary. Even like when we jump on something like this, it's very vulnerable to jump on and like.
Oh my gosh, totally. I was like sweating, trying to make my hair all cute, and then like 10 minutes in, I'm like, screw it, my hair's going up.
Right, you get,
this is me.
Yeah, it starts to dissipate for you, and you get used to that feeling. So I just did. I think you know. Did sign up for Gabby's Spirit Junkie, and I remember being kind of a little scared, you know, because it is an investment.
It's a big investment.
It is, you know, and I remember thinking, oh gosh. Then I start thinking, oh, what are people going to think? What if it doesn't pay off? All this kind of stuff. And I had to like take a step back and say, you know what? You need to chill the F out for a second. Be patient with yourself. It's like you have so many expectations for something to be a certain way. And that's for me where the fear came from. It was like, what if it doesn't meet these expectations? It's like, whoa, the course hasn't even started yet.
And you're already like, it's not going to work.
Right? Be patient, you know? And then the first module came out like as soon as you signed up. So it was like 2 weeks ago. And then I got to this place because it's like the second module came out this morning, but there was no module for 2 weeks. And then, so the first week was good. And I was like, this is good. And then the second week I was like, oh no. Oh, here it comes.
Here she comes, that little ego.
And totally. The biggest thing I kept writing down was be patient. Be patient. Like quit. I jumping so far ahead. And for me, it's like, that's where but a lot of the fear comes up.
Spirit Junkie, on a side note, is a life changer. That's really where I learned to step into those fears. And a lot of that fear-based work that I was talking about that I do comes from Gabby. So you're in for a treat with that.
I love her. I'm excited about that. So now I'm putting cedarwood on my feet. I'm going to see if you guys are right.
You're going to feel so grounded.
I love it. I just bathe in this stuff.
That's so funny.
Love meditation apps. Yeah, Oprah does a really good one. Oprah and Deepak, they do a good one. Yeah. They do some free stuff a lot of the times. You know, for meditation, YouTube. I've been going to YouTube. I just go to YouTube. I'll start putting in sleep meditation. Last night I couldn't sleep to save my life, but sleep meditation, or there's a new one I just started listening to. It's Esther Hicks. It's called Falling Back Asleep, Going Back Asleep. Esther Abraham Hicks, it's labeled under. And the picture is like this person falling, it's green, and the music reminds me of the movie Inception. And it's this like piano music, and then her voice comes in. And then it's this piano music, and her voice comes in. And there's a part of it, she talks about how maybe they're like, kind of like there's the big toe. I'm sorry, I don't know this. The big toe. I'm putting it all over my feet.
Go back.
Okay, sorry. So for meditation, I don't know, Val, if you're talking to me, but Esther Hicks does this great audio. It's kind of like I listen to it at night, and she talks about her face. She says, I think the words are like, my favorite time is waking up and not going back to sleep, and waking up and not going back to sleep, and just that magic moment. It was something like, why do you think it's wrong that you're up in the middle of the night? It's like, because we think like, I have to sleep. And she goes, maybe you're going to have a short night's sleep, or maybe you're going to have a really long nap. And I was like,
sounds good.
Okay, a very long nap. I'm liking this. I'm liking the long nap. And then she talked about almost how, she's like, if you have ideas coming to you and you can't sleep, why do you think that's wrong? And I was like, huh. And she's like, this could be spirit. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, well, then now when I can't sleep, I'm like, okay, spirit, come speak to me.
Well, if you talk to Andrea Lucchese at all, she will tell you that her messages all come to her. She never sleeps.
Oh,
she sleeps for like a couple hours, and then she's like straight back to work. Like, and she gets all her messages from like Wayne Dyer in the middle of the night. She always talks about that. She cracks me up.
Yeah, she said, I always wake up with ideas flowing, and it's always spirit.
There it is.
Right? How often do we fight that, though? Usually I'm the fighter. I'm like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I gotta go.
We have kids, so that is a little different. But there's this also on YouTube. I should see if I can find it, and I'll post the link. It's one of my favorite ones to fall asleep to. One of my favorite ways to meditate, though, is to like really get into the imagination and like go places in my meditations. So there's this awesome one where they take you on a journey, and you end up like, I can't even remember because I always end up falling asleep, but they take you on this like beautiful journey, and you end up in this beautiful place. And for me, every time it like works, and I'm like out having good dreams for the rest of the night. And those are some of my favorite meditations, those like imagination ones where you can like connect with spirits, or, you know, go to like your favorite safety zone. Mine's always like a forest somewhere with like the lights peering through, you know, and I'm just like,
mine's on the beach. Mine's always on the beach. Usually I'm in the water, and I'm like floating on my back in the beach.
Oh, it sounds so good.
What was I going to tell you? Well, you know what we should talk about? Not right now because we're kind of coming out of time, but one week we should be talking about spirit guides and how to find them and who are they and all of that kind of stuff.
I had an amazing experience with a hypnotherapist that did that. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We could talk about that for a week. What was I going to say? When Rebecca was on, I was telling her my favorite part about meditation is that space that you can get to where you can't really feel your limbs, and like you're not really sure where your body starts and stops. And you're like, I love that feeling of like, where are my legs? I don't know. I don't know where they stop.
I do that a lot in my yoga classes. And like, so I'll take your focus. Well, a lot of times I do like a whole body once over. So we get really aware of the body. And then the second time around, I'm like, now become aware of that space between the floor and your body. Not your body and not the floor, but the space between. Like the little plane of existence. And then become aware of the space between your body and the air touching it. Not the air and not your body, but the space.
Interesting.
And then all of a sudden you're like, where does my body
I don't know where my
air
body
begin? Yeah. It's a really powerful, like I usually end a sweaty class like that. And you're like all hot and sweaty. You're just laying there and you're like, oh, I'm gone.
Right. Such a cool experience to be able to get in that space. Such a cool experience, you know. Okay, cool. Well, it's been fun. I'm glad you came on.
I'm glad we got past our glitchiness.
I know, we had a little glitchy at the beginning, but we're good now. We had a good talk. I love connecting with you.
Me too.
If you guys want to connect with Kristen, please go over to her Facebook pages. I'll post them in the group, and then we'll have you on again.
Yay, I can't wait.
Oh, and next week we have Anna Gaspari from the Spiritual Grind coming on. So she's going to take over next week, and we'll be jumping on next Friday with her. So it's going to be a good week with some new stuff to talk about. All right.
Yay.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Have a good one.